In this lecture, I am going to show you two sample programs. The first program is about reading principal amount, rate of interest and time, and it will calculate and print simple interest. WAP is the short form for write a program. Now, hash include stdio.h. I have included this header file stdio.h because, as I have told you earlier, this is the header file which contains the declarations of the functions printf and scanf. In the function main, I have declared three float variables, namely pmt, roi and sint. The names of the variables, they could be anything, but you will have to keep in mind the naming conventions. Pmt is the variable which is supposed to contain the principal amount. ROI for containing rate of interest. SINT would contain simple interest that will be calculated in the process. TM is the variable which is supposed to contain the time, that is duration of the loan. So this is the printf statement, enter the principal amount, time and rate of interest, which will act like the prompt. So this statement would be printed as it is because of being within double inverted commas. In scanf, I have read three variables, pmt, tm and roi. And then subsequently in the second last statement, I have given the formula for calculating the simple interest, which happens to be like pmt into tm into roi divided by 100. This is a formula for calculating the simple interest. So simple interest would be calculated and subsequently that will be assigned to the variable SINT. In the last statement, I have printed the value of SINT. I would repeat, as I have told you earlier, whatever we people write within double inverted commas, that is printed as it is, except escape sequences and format specifiers. So simple interest is equal to will be printed as it is, but in lieu of percentile point 2f, the value of the variable SINT would be printed. So let me execute this program. I would press F11. So this is the prompt, enter the principal amount, time and rate of interest. I'm going to give a small value 1000. Then suppose the time is 5 and suppose the rate of interest is 4.5. Yes, this is your output, 225. So now we move on to the next sample program, which is about calculating the percentage of marks of a student. So this says the statement is write a program that reads marks of a student in three subjects. Calculate the percentage of marks assuming the maximum marks to be 300. So as usual, I have included the header file stdio.h. Then in the function main, I have declared three variables, namely MENG, MMaths, MComp. These are the names of the variables which could be anything. MENG is supposed to contain the marks in English, MMaths for marks in maths, MComp for marks in computer science. And P is the variable which has been declared for storing the percentage of marks. This is our prompt, enter the marks in three subjects. It would be printed as it is. And scanf is reading the values of MENG, MMaths and MComp. So afterwards, this is the processing statement whereby I have applied the formula of calculating the percentage of marks. As you know, I have assumed 300 to be the maximum marks. And in the last statement, I have tried to print the percentage of marks. So because percentage of marks have been, they have been contained in P, so I would get the value of this variable P printed on the screen. And percentile point 2f, as you know, the decimal precision would be 2. But when I would execute this program, you'll be surprised to see that it is showing the percentage as 0. Suppose 90, this is the marks in first subject, 98 is the marks in second subject, 87 is the marks in third subject. So this is our output 0.00. So you're not getting the right output. The reason being, as I have told you earlier, that int and int operands, they yield int results. because all these three variables, mcomp, mmaths, meng, they happen to be of int data type. So after adding their values, we will end up getting an int result. Whatever it is, suppose it is 280, then divided by 300. Now 300 is a constant which happens to be of integer data type. So 280 divided by 300, 280 is just the assumed value, whatever it is. Of course, it will be equal to or less than 300 because 300 is our maximum marks. So 280 and 300, it is going to yield something like 0 point something. But because all these variables, they happen to be of integer data type, we will end up getting 0 only. So 0 multiplied by 100 will give you 0 only. That is why we are getting 0. So we have learnt about typecasting. What we can do is we can typecast any one of these variables. Suppose I have typecasted mcomp as float. Let me execute it. Again, any value. Okay. Yeah, this is your result, which is the correct one. So what I have done is I have typecasted mcomp as float. And as I have told you earlier, if a variable happens to be of int type and another variable happens to be of float data type, the result belongs to the higher data type, that is float, because the lower data type variables are promoted to the higher data types. So mmaths, that will be converted into float, meng will also be converted into float, and we will end up getting the float result. I will show you another variation of this program. Instead of typecasting mcomp with float, what I can do is, instead of writing 300, I can write 300.0. Again, I will end up getting the right result. Okay. This is it, 92.00. So these were the two sample programs. In the next lectures, we will be learning more about C programming.